In this video, we'll be carrying out this user interface design on the approach of components. Now, the first thing I'll be doing is creating my frame. It's a custom frame of which I'll be using my width as 1080 and the height as 1152. Enter. I'll be using a corner radius of 40. Trying to set my guides. On both the left and the right side, I'll be using 84. While at the top, I'll be using 76. To section the path for the sidebar navigation, I'll be using that is 450. Now the next thing I'll be doing is getting my icon, of which I've gotten already. Using the component approach, I'll type a label here like edit profile. Let me have it at size 20. I change my color to something around this. I'm going to change my background color so that to give me room for contrasts. Now if I have it like this, I make this text an auto layout. If I've done that, since all this icon is going to be repeated in all of these from one single button, of which we are trying to do here, so I'll be making the icons a component. I select all of them. Since I'll be making them a component, it means I'll be making them multiple components instead of making them components individually. Then I'll put them in one nest, that is frame them. Now my frame is appearing on it as frame 3. I can choose to rename frame 3 to sidebar navigation icons. Now on this one, I copy one of these icons, Ctrl C, and I click on my text here, Ctrl V. If it's pasted in front like this, I want to flip it to the left side. I click hold and drag it. Now if I've done this, I want to increase the width of my frame here. Let's say to something around 300. The text and the icon should be positioned left. Now my space on the left side should be around that 20. And space the icon a little bit. 15 will be fine. Let me add my corner radius to it. 24 will be okay. I can now make this a component. You can certainly see my quadruple filled purple icon. So I want to make a variant of it. I'm creating a variant because the change in type is something like this. So let me click on plus here. Now I can define this as my inactive variant. I come to my design panel and type I click on the other one and change it to active. If I've had this, I want to put a stroke or make my second variant different. Plus, use a stroke of 2.5. Change the color to, I'm using a color code of 0F9AFF. If I'm okay here, then the text in it is bolder. Bold. And the color is darker. That is 00000. Then the color for my icons is the same color that I use for the stroke here. Let's come to this part of selection color. I then begin to define their individual property. For the icon, I want to define it as an instant swap. I click on this part here, then I type change icon. Now the part of preferred values, I click on plus. I click on this minus again to see that it checks everything. Then I say create property. I click on this other one again. I come here. I put it under the same property of icon. Then I'm good. Now for the text, I want to place a text property on it. Come to this part of section in your design panel, and you'll be seeing this icon here, create text property. Change text. If I'm okay, I click on create. For edit profile on the second variant, you put it under the same property you created too. If I've done that, I want to create Boolean property that is show or hide option, but certainly I won't need it, but for the sake of practice. It's okay, I let you know now that using this icon that I have here, if I click on it, it selects matching layers instead of going back and forth, in the sense that I do it for the first one first and I later come back for the second one. By doing it this way, I can just do it for both of them at the same time. Now I want to put a Boolean property on it that is show or hide. Come to my design panel, click on this icon here and say show icon. Create property. The same thing for the text. I click on the text, click on this icon, select matching layers, come to my layer part here, not show icon, I create a different property for it. I say show text. So if I want to get a repeat of these, let me just take one of these, that is duplicate it with my Alt key. Then I just duplicate again, then press Ctrl D for 8 times. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I've had them like this, I select them all and make it auto layout. Right click. I can now begin to change accordingly as it is here. The next one will be for password. Come to this part, look for password. The text is changing to password. Click on the next one. What am I changing it to? Notification. But it has the second variant option, that is the active variant. Then chat export. the icon changes to notification. Now just hasten this process. Now the color of the bell here, I can choose to override it here. Double click on it and choose my. Let me increase my space in between them. 17 will be fine. Now I'm okay. I can now take it straight to my frame. For this other section here now, I've already had my icons downloaded already. Now if you take note of it now, in the entire sections here, there's a switch from check to uncheck. So it means now that I'll be having these two icons as a variant of themselves. I select them all, come here and make it what? Component sets. If I've had this, let me type new notification. And duplicate one of the buttons. Carry both of them straight to my screen here. I'll be using it. Let me increase the size of the text a bit. 22 is fine. And have the button placed at the edge of my border. I select both of them, make it an auto layout. The notification itself is not bolded. If I've had this, I make a duplicate of it using my Alt option, then Ctrl D. Let me increase their space a bit. Let me use something around 34. Then I begin to change it to someone invites you to chat. Now take note of what is happening here. The icon is coming closer to the text. Now this is what you do when you come across such a thing. Let me undo. I click on this part, come to my auto layout options and double click. What you have done is you have set their alignment on auto. So here it remains fixed at this position and this text also remains fixed at this position. I do the same thing here, double click. Do the same thing here, double click. So someone invites you to chat. If I've had this, let me type this part of UI8 platform. Make the text size 25. I select all of them to distribute the spacing accordingly. Click on this icon here, or you just come in here and say what? Distribute vertical spacing. We are good. Now if you take a very good look at what we are doing, the same thing here is almost the same thing here. I click hold and duplicate. Also for the bottom, but the other two part is not there. So if I have it like this, I change what I have here to from theme. Now the state here is unchecked. Double click on it. Come to my properties. to uncheck. Double click on it, come in here, uncheck, and the rest is good. Now here is from Brainwave. Then it remains is my fainted lines. If I had it like this, let me change my color code to something I have existing already. Duplicate this here. Then have another one on top here. I think I have to bring this down a bit. The same thing with my line here. And I type notification. Have it at size 40. I want to create this my toggle switch. Take a rectangle, click hold and draw. Make the height 34 and the width 76, and I'll be good. Make it rounded. Then have a few color of what we've been using. And if I have it like this, duplicate the shape and ensure the width and the height is the same thing. So type in what? 34 here too. The color of the ball is white. Then carry it inside here. Ensure they are properly aligned. Just select both of them and click on align right. Now there's a stroke outside of it, as you can see here. So click on this one. I see hard stroke, but use a 2 strokes or 2.5 and ensure the stroke is on the outside, after which you change the color to this for consistency. If I've had the first one like this is the turn on states. I can duplicate it to create the inactive or the off states. So I just want to align left and change every part of here. I can see blue to a gray. Select this one and right click and see what? Group selection. Select this one, right click and see what? Group selection. Now, since both of them are alternative of themselves, I'll be making it a variant, that is component sets. So if I've had it like this, duplicate the first one out. Take it here and drop it here. Take note, if I click on it now, you can see that I can choose to change it to group 1. I can choose to change it to group 2. Now it's just for this part that is remaining, the lines here. Then I type delete. Ensure it's not bolded. And it's at size 20. I make it color red. I've gotten this icon already from the same material icon. Click hold and drag. I can select both of them, ensure that they are both the same color. Select both of them, add auto layout to it. with this, see how I've created this dashboard. So if I want to alter any change with respect to any icon here or any state here, I can just, for instance, in my sidebar, double click on it and change the content itself. I can change the icon itself. I can change the state also itself. So depending on which I want. And this is how we make use of components. See you in the next video.